So the weather is now changing. We are getting wetter weather. There's a lot of activity on the roads in rural Aberdeenshire. That means there's loads of mud on the road. That means my black car is filthy. So today I'm going to give it a really, really good clean, a good scrub, and while I'm at it, we're going to be testing a bunch of products from a company called Stjarnagloss. Stjarnagloss is a brand which I saw years ago and then it disappeared, and it's come back. It's been reinvented, relaunched with this sort of Scandinavian feel to it, a Scandinavian vibe. The name in itself, Stjarnagloss, interesting. And all of the products have a sort of Scandinavianness to them, whether it's a take on sort of Norwegian, Swedish, Danish, something like that. They're not actual words in these languages, they're just names for these products. It's different to something like Squeaky Citrus Cleaner or something. They've all got a name which kind of alludes to what they are, but not every time. But it's interesting. For example, this is their citrus pre-cleaner called Forst. You can see there, it's got the umlaut over the O. So it's Forst, it's got some citrus force. I don't know, could be that. Their snow foam is simply called Snow. SNO with the umlaut. I like things like that. Snow. Their detailing spray is called Silke. Not Silky, Silke. Things like that. They've got a matte shampoo called Matta. They've got an interior cleaner called Inni. They've got a tar and bug remover. Is it tar and bug or tar and glue? Tar and bug called Tiara. Tar. You know, they've gone for these little kind of almost puns on the words, on the naming of them. I really like that though, because it gives the brand a little bit of an identity to it. Plus, I like how many of the bottles, when you line them up, actually spell out Stjarnagloss when you lay them out. That's a really interesting idea. I don't really see that happening with others. So the branding is very nice. But it's whether or not they actually work, how well they work. So I'm going to be trying out a bunch today. I'm not going to be trying everything out. I might keep some for another video, but as far as today goes, I can't use absolutely everything. But I'll talk about them as I go through on the voiceover so you guys understand what's happening, how I'm using them, how they work. And at the end, we'll come back and check out and have a little review how they did the job today. Anyway, let's get out and have a look at the filthy, filthy, dirty, dirty beast that is my car. So here is the really dirty, filthy beast that she is. Absolutely disgusting, disgusting, disgusting. All down the back, that's usual for a hatchback. And then here, rear wheel arches. Rear wheels aren't too bad. Tires are pretty filthy though. The lower half of the car there though, look at that. These are the joys of living in the countryside. And look at the front wheels, look! Oh, disgusting. So this car really needs a good scrub. We're going to be trying out the citrus pre-wash and the snow foam first, methinks. Gives this thing a really good soak and a scrub. Alright, so very quickly we're just going to rinse off the wheels here and then spray Huel wheel cleaner on there. I've sped this footage up so you don't need to hang around. As you can see, it takes about a minute or so to see the iron fallout reaction there coming through. It definitely comes through. So giving it another minute and then coming back with the pressure washer, blasting it off, and unfortunately there was still some dirt left behind, so I gave it a second hit and used my Vican wheel brush here to agitate this. You can see it doesn't foam up. This is supposed to have some detergents in it, but I just had some issues. So I sprayed some Forst pre-cleaner on there instead, or on top, and it came up very nice. So very interesting. This is the result of Huel being sprayed onto a dry wheel and left for 5 minutes. And again, you can see that it does have an iron fallout reaction, but there is still some grime left there. So just using Forst this time and scrubbing away. I do think the combination of the two products is the way to go. Just get some extra bite from Forst. And great on the tires too. And here you can see it now looks much, much better. So again, using Forced this time on the front door. This is the worst affected dirty door. I'm only spraying it on the front of the car here. I'm leaving the back door dry for the moment. I'm not going to use any pre-treatment chemical there. Instead, I'm just spraying a light mist of water. I'm not trying to push the dirt off the car. I'm just trying to make it wet to find out if the Forced actually has any cleaning ability or any ability to soften that dirt. So after being left for around 3 or 4 minutes, I came back with a pressure washer, and this time didn't go too close. I'm not trying to push too much of the dirt off. I'm trying to find out how much can be rinsed off with a medium stream of pressure. Now here, this is a tip picked up from Martin at the OCD channel. Drying off the panel afterwards will let you see how much dirt has been left behind. So as you can see here, the rear door looks as bad as it did before. Plenty grime on that door, still looking pretty awful. But here, the difference is remarkable. The Forced really has attacked and loosened and started to remove the dirt on the front door. It's not perfect, but honestly, what a massive difference. This is snow foam, 90ml to 900ml of water. That's a 10:1 dilution ratio, which is what's recommended on the bottle. Attacking the lower half of the car and the bonnet with Forced first. Yep, go with that. And this is to make sure that it does get into the grime and the dirt and start to loosen it and soften it. And then a blanket of snow foam over the top. It's a nice snow foam, this. Not super thick, but thick enough. Using a soft detailing brush to get around the dirt traps. And you can see there, the snow foam is helping to draw that loosened dirt down onto the ground and pulling it off the paint. So make sure to give it a really good rinse off. Before going for the shampoo stage. This is Bubblor. It's a high gloss car wash. It contains glossing agents and sealant. This is Mata, the matte finish car wash, which leaves nothing behind. 25ml is what I'm using here. It says 25ml for a big bucket. And this is a big bucket, I'm going to go with that. You can see it's quite a thick shampoo. It sinks to the bottom of the bucket, so do make sure once you've got it all in the bucket that you make sure you agitate it and get it spread around the rest of the water. Don't allow it to sit in a clump at the bottom or it won't do anything. Here it was still sticking to the sides of my little measuring cup, so I had to give it a scoop out. There was still a fair bit left in there. So grab the pressure washer, stick it in there and agitate the shampoo that's sitting at the bottom of the bucket. Get it moving around the water, then draw out the pressure washer and blast some air in there to generate some foam and suds. And if you like suds, it's nice. Good suds. So the suds do get carried around the wash. If you prefer sudsy shampoos, you'll probably like this one. I do enjoy a sudsy foamy shampoo. I'm using my Simonized wash mitt and it was super cold water, so I'm using my big black marigold to keep my hand dry and therefore keep it a bit warmer. But as you can see, the suds definitely carry along with the wash, which is great. It helps you see where you've washed and it just looks a bit more satisfying, I think. That's a personal opinion. It doesn't feel super slick, but it doesn't feel unslick. We'll go with that. I don't know what the word for the opposite of slick is. It's not sticky. It's not dragging. And it rinses away cleanly. Doesn't leave anything behind. So I've dried off the bonnet and we're going to use Silke, the high gloss detailing spray here. Now I applied it as I usually do. A couple of sprays on half the bonnet and one on the microfiber. And one thing you'll see here is it's quite thick. Honestly, you normally don't see this from detailing sprays. Most detailing sprays I use, I know you can't really see much, just my back. Good job, eh? But normally most detailing sprays, they go on quite thin, they come off quite thin and easy, you don't see much. But here you can see that streakiness. I think this is one of those detailing sprays where less is more, and I think I just over applied it. All it tells you on the bottle is to buff it until you reach the desired finish. And because this was a thicker, almost greasier type of detailing spray, it took more buffing than I'm used to get the finish that I like. It's not a huge complaint because at the end of the day, the panel is lovely and slick and glossy and shiny, but it just took a bit more effort. So I'll have to try that on another panel, thinner. This is Parla, this is the spray sealant. 2 sprays and 1 on the microfiber. And this one was an easier, thinner product to apply. Much less streaky and much less sticky to apply. Very, very straightforward. Just give it a good, even application across half the bonnet. And then once it's evenly applied, flip over your towel and buff it off. It's a very simple and straightforward product to use. I have used this once already and I got on very well with it. It's a nice product. It smells good too. And you can see some of it flashing away there. Here's the water test. You all know I love water tests. So the right side with the Silky detailing spray, you can see there is protection there where there wasn't much before. So it's definitely allowing the water to sheet. Not super fast, but it's sheeting. But there's the difference. The left side with Parla sealant sheets water much more quickly. It just doesn't want to hold on to the water as much. That's not to say that Silky doesn't do its job. It will be a good maintenance detailing spray. But here's the side by side, the 50-50 section. The left side sheets it much faster. So it's a good spray sealant. Here's the beading of the spray sealant. And as we move over to the right side, this is the beading of the detailing spray. You can see the beads here are more like beans. They're a little less defined, not quite as even. Whereas moving over to the Parla side, and you can see they're much tighter, smaller beads, rounder and more uniform. Now in this section, I just sprayed 1 spray of the detailing spray onto my microfiber over this small section, and also onto the plastic trim. It was absolutely fine on plastic trim, no issues there. Flip over to the dry side and it was much easier to get the finish I wanted. So this is definitely a less is more detailing spray. If you want shine and gloss and some slickness, go with less. Now this is Scara, the hand polish. You could use this with a machine polisher and a very soft polishing pad if you wanted to, or a finishing pad. But this is a very straightforward product you would come to expect of many all-in-one polishes. So it has abrasives, it has fillers, I think, and it has some protection. But this is a very, very simple and straightforward product to use. It's very easy. Working it in small overlapping circles. And it does say if you work it longer and harder, you will get more cut out of the product and improve the look of the paint even more. The buff off was very simple. I didn't need to leave this to cure for a long time. The buff off was very, very straightforward. And here you can see, if you stare just at my crotch right now, there's the 50-50 line. The right side was polished, the left side wasn't, and you can see the right side is more clear. It is cleaner paint, it is a sharper, more defined reflection with deeper gloss. You can see that's the right side, and there's the unpolished left side. Back over to the polished right side. So you can see there's a definite improvement in the look of the paint there, just with a hand polish. Really nice polish, this one. Now this is Gummy Trim and Tire Dressing. I'd been looking forward to using this one. I've heard many people say good things about it. So I splodged some onto my tire applicator here. It's runnier than I expected. It's a sort of runnier cream product. You can see it trying to drip there on the left side. But that means that it's very easy to spread and apply. It goes a long way, which is really nice. It does remind me of some other products, but it has its own individuality here. It is a very straightforward and easy product to use. It leaves a satin finish on your tires, also on your rubber and plastic trim as well. Just a small amount extra to finish off the rest of the tire. But this was a really nice one. I don't have to worry about buffing it off. If I just leave it well applied, it will leave a nice satin finish on the tires. Not super glossy. So here's a very tiny amount on this applicator onto this little section of plastic at the back of the car. And like I said, very easy to spread around. You can see it darkening the plastic, which is nice. It's restoring it a little bit, helping to make that plastic look a little bit younger. Very, very straightforward. You can also see I have deliberately over applied it onto the surrounding paint just to find out how easy it is to buff off, and the answer is very easy. Very straightforward. If you're a little bit slapdash, don't worry about it. Now the front scuttle panel, this bit ages more than anything else. It was really horrible and faded grey, but a small amount on my applicator and around it goes, looking much, much better. Look out for the 50-50 line coming up now. The top section is the other side, which has not been treated, and you can see it's looking horrible and faded. Really ages the car. So here's the 50-50 line now after applying it on the other side. And apart from a few small bits that I missed from my shoddy workmanship, you can see this is a much better looking piece of plastic. It looks younger and nicer. So as usual, it's time for the verdict. What did I think of all of these products? And I'll be perfectly honest, I got on really well with some and I didn't really get on well with others. So let's talk about them in order. The Forst Citrus Pre-Cleaner, they call it. That's an excellent product. It's really good as a pre-cleaner. As you saw on the panel there, the front door had this applied, the back door had nothing, and it showed an improvement. The snow foam, it's a nice thick foam. It has a pleasant enough scent. It's not too strong, so it's not offensive. It's more of something for the summer perhaps, or to go on top of your citrus pre-cleaner to make sure that it doesn't dry out. That's probably the way I would use it. Put this down and then this on top of it. But they were both good products. I do like this one just because it's fairly effective, and I used it for many things. I used it for the tires, and I used it for pre-cleaning, used it for a few other spot areas of cleaning, and it has some strength to it, so that's really nice. It's also nice that it comes in a big 1 litre bottle as opposed to little tiny 500ml bottles. I'm quite pleased with that one. The smell is nice too. Same with the snow foam. Where did we go next? We went to shampoos, and like I said, the matte and the gloss enhancing shampoos. I went with the matte today. 25ml for a big bucket is pretty good going, and it was foamy, it was sudsy, which was nice. The suds lasted all the way through to the end of the wash, and it wasn't super slick, but it wasn't bad as far as slickness goes. It certainly had something there. So it was a very simple and straightforward shampoo. 25ml for a use, for a wash with a big bucket, and less if it's a smaller bucket. What I do find interesting, what I like about this, the same with the bubbler, which is the gloss enhancing shampoo. They mention a few different things here. So for example, with the Mata, if you have a small bucket, only use half as much. If you have hard water, add an extra capful. And if you have a very dirty car, add another capful. That's quite interesting. Moving on to Silke and Parla. So Silke is the detailing spray, the high gloss detailing spray. Doesn't work as a drying aid. Interesting. But it was nice enough. Now, I did have a few issues with it. It was a bit more streaky than I would like, but a bit more buffing, and it came off cleanly, so it wasn't hard to use at all. Certainly glossy and shiny, and certainly left slickness behind. It doesn't leave much protection there, but there is something. As you saw with the water test on the bonnet, there is something there that wasn't there before. So it is nice to use. It smells nice too. The Parla smells really nice. This is the spray sealant. This one is an easier product to use than the Silky, which was very interesting because this is the sealant. This is the one that's going to give you more protection. Now, it doesn't actually say how long you're going to get as far as protection. It just says it's a high performance sealant for your paintwork, exterior trim, and wheels. If you've cleaned your wheels and you want to protect them and make them easier to clean next time, slap some of this on. It's a very easy on, easy off product. Again, takes a little bit more buffing. It was a little bit streaky, but not bad at all. Certainly a very easy to use product, and it smelt great. Now, Huel, this color change wheel cleaner, it had no real cleaning ability. I tried agitating it, and I think all I was doing was just moving the loose dirt around, but it wasn't really doing much cleaning. But it was an effective iron fallout remover. It stinks to hell of iron fallout removers. That's what it does. So I don't think there's actually any cleaning ability in there. That's what I'm going to say about this. It's not an actual wheel cleaner. I'm going to say it's an iron fallout remover because I don't see an iron fallout remover in this lineup. Now, Scara, this is the gloss enhancing polish. If you don't know what a car polish is, I made a video recently called What is a Car Polish? You can check that out down in the description box below. But basically this says it has micro abrasives. It's a gloss enhancing polish designed to remove swirls and defects. So there is an abrasive in there. It is going to attack them. It is going to try and remove some of them where possible. It certainly made it darker. It gave it better reflection, better gloss, better shine. It was just altogether a clearer section of panel. So it certainly works. You could use that with a machine polisher as well, with a soft finishing pad or a soft polishing pad, and that'll do a really good job at cleaning up your paint and improving the overall depth and shine and gloss. It's a nice product. I do like that one. Now, Gummy is the trim and tire dressing. I like this one. I do like this one. A little bit goes a long way, which is nice. It's not super thick, it's not super thin. It's relatively runny actually for what I thought it would be. It's runnier than I expected. But that means it spreads really nicely. Using my applicator, it spread around the tire very nicely indeed. It also spread across the plastics I was using it on and the rubber trim. It was doing everything that I wanted it to do, and it did it really well. Honestly, really, really pleased with that. I got it onto paint and I got it onto glass, and it just wipes off again. So that's a really nice product. That's one of my favorites out of the lineup so far. And the last product I used was glass. This is their glass cleaner. It says professional glass cleaner. Now, it's a bit weird the way it comes out. It's a little bit foamy, which I'm not the biggest fan of foamy products, foamy glass cleaners. It worked all right. It worked fine. It certainly cleaned the glass, but perhaps it doesn't have as much isopropyl alcohol in it compared to some other glass cleaners that I'm used to, because most of those, once you've wiped over, it evaporates away by itself quite quickly. This didn't. This was a very slow evaporating product. So it did look a little bit streaky, and it made me take pause for a moment to have a look and think, have I done something wrong here? Is there something wrong with this? But it was just that it was a very slow evaporator. It certainly cleaned the glass. Interesting, different. You know, you got to try these things to find out if you like them or not. Would I choose this one? No, but I wouldn't say it's a bad glass cleaner. However, if you guys are interested in checking out the Stjarnagloss range, I will leave a link to the website down in the description box below. Thank you very much to Jack at Stjarnagloss for sending these across to me. It's been very interesting to try out some new products. I like some of them a lot. I've still got more to try. I say the Bubble Or shampoo there as well. I'm still going to have to give that one a try, perhaps on the next wash on the car. However, if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and smash that like button. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And while you're there, make sure you ring the notification bell so you don't miss my next video uploads. In the meantime, I've been Specky. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.